Once again, welcome to my channel. As you know, I have already completed all the lectures for the undergraduate veterinary students as per the VCI curriculum. Now onwards, I am going to talk on different advanced topics or more focused for the postgraduate and higher level. So today I am going to talk on the topic on Indian dairy industry status and prospect. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about overall scenario of the dairy industry, including the dairying process in comparison to agriculture system, dairy cooperatives, global dairy and Indian dairy comparison, present milk production and per capita availability of milk in India, dairy market, dairy processing, value output from livestock sector and dairy sector, future promise of dairy industry, value addition, doubling of income, higher spending and increasing growth, surplus production of milk, guiding factors, upcoming trends, particularly in fermented dairy product market, then production strategies and marketing strategies, etc. First, we will discuss about the dairying Indian scenario, that is about the dairy production system and dairy production industry. The speciality of this dairy production industry in India is it is one of the important livelihood of the farmers. Large number of farmers are having their own dairy cattle in home, and they can be in different categories like small, marginal and landless. So every household, every farmer is having a small hold of dairy cattle or sometimes buffalo for milk production, and this is a primary source of liquidity. So many of these small, marginal and landless farmers has got regular income directly from the sale of this milk. And the other side, the speciality of this dairying industry in India is presently, as we know, the highest producer of milk, and now at present 2023 the total production is about 220 million ton. India has got the largest cattle population and also the buffalo, and the total milk almost 52% goes for processing. There is value addition up to 35% of the milk, and it is the highest contributor to agricultural GDP. The dairy sector is the highest contributor to agricultural GDP, that is more than 28% from the livestock. Now here we will see a comparison between dairying industry and the conventional agriculture. In conventional agriculture, the stages or value chain is like consolidator, commission agent, trader, wholesaler and then retailer. So this is the agri supply chain wherein there is a very high wastage and low margin. So the producers get very low margin in the conventional agricultural production. Whereas in case of milk, due to the milk unions and cooperative movement, the producer get very high margin. It is due to the multiplication of Anand pattern of cooperatives, where directly it goes from producer to the consumer. So there is low wastage and better margin for the producer. So in general, dairy industry transfers 80% of the margin from consumer price to farmers, whereas in all developed countries this price is only about 25 to 40%. So this is one of the very special scenario in the Indian dairy sector. Here we will see the Anand pattern. As I have mentioned, the speciality of Indian dairy sector due to the multiplication of Anand pattern of cooperative production. So this is a very special successful program through Operation Flood or White Revolution, we know. So this cooperative, it has got three-tier structure. The grassroots level, there is primary village cooperative societies, then it is the district union, and then at the state level there is state federation. So the money flows from state federation to the district union, and from district union to the primary village cooperatives. At the village cooperative there is milk production and pulling through the farmer producer, and it goes to the district level where the milk procurement and manufacturing of dairy products happens, and through this only the inputs given and cooperative development programs to the farmers are executed, and all the facilities and services for AI, animal husbandry, milk, feed and education is provided from the district union. And at the state level there is the control on marketing of the products and if required for distribution or export, etc. Here we will see the scenario of Indian dairy with a comparison with the global dairy sector. As we know, India is the world's largest milk producer. At the bottom we can see the status of milk production in developed countries. First in the Asia it is at the highest level and with a very little increase between 2019 and 20, and then in Europe, North America, South America, Africa, Oceania and America, Central American countries. So here we can see the milk production in total is very high in Asia and slightly increased in 2020. Now if we see the Indian scenario, there is robust cooperative system owned by farmers. Milk production from 17 million ton in 1950, it has reached to 220 million tons now, and the cumulative annual growth rate in India is about 4.5%, which is below 2% in all the developed countries including US, Australia and EU, and the approximate 16% growth is expected from 2019 to 2024. The socio-economic impact of dairy sector in India is more distinct than that of Western countries. So in India, the dairy sector is likely to play a very important role on the social and economic development than the other developed countries. Here we will see the milk production and per capita availability of milk in India. In the left side diagram, we can see the massive growth in the milk production and the rate of growth. In the top, we can see the before Operation Flood, the growth rate was 1% per annum, and during Operation Flood, it was 4.7% per annum. And after that, from 2016 onwards, the growth rate is above 6%. And in the total milk production, if we see 1950, it is 17 million ton, and 2016 to 17 it is 170 million ton, and presently it is more than 200 or exactly 220 million ton now in 2023. In the right side we can see the per capita availability of milk. The average it is today in India is 407 gram per head per capita, and the global average is around 200 gram. State wise we can see that some of the states are having very huge per capita availability, from Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Uttarakhand. They are all having more than 400 up to 1000 gram per head, and some of the states are lagging behind with a very low per capita availability. The annual growth rate is above 5 and almost around 6%. Here we will see the dairy market in India and the trend. In the left side diagram we can see the total organized dairy market in India in the year 2016. The total volume is 107,000 crore, whereas in the right side 2020 it is 187,000 crore. In the left side 2016 we can see the liquid milk is 16%, whereas in 2020 it is 60%. So liquid milk is reduced and the product part is increasing. We can see that the ghee is the major single product, 13% in both sides, but modern dairy products, which was about 18%, has now increased to 20%. That means there is a shift towards the modern processed dairy products in the Indian market. Here we will see the dairy processing scenario in India. In this diagram, we can see the percent of dairy consumption of different kind of products and the annual consumption increase. In the bottom, we can see that the fluid milk consumption is very high, almost 50%, and butter and ghee is the most important consumption. But if we see annual increase, here it is less, whereas the annual increase is quite high in the top, that is paneer, cheese, infant formula, and yogurt and ice cream, even condensed milk. So these changes are due to rise in population, increased purchasing power, changing demographics, change in ethnicity, and very strong increase in the health consciousness and demand for ready to eat food. So since more and more people are getting busy in working life, so there is more demand for ready to eat foods, and also everything is further boosted by the government subsidies for value addition. So altogether the dairy processing scenario is changing in Indian dairy sector. Here we will see the milk consumption pattern in India. You can see from the diagram that 46% of the total milk produced is consumed as fluid milk, and the remaining 54% is processed into products, of which half of that goes for ghee, that is about 27%, and next important products are butter, yogurt and khova, almost 7 or 6%, and remaining are the dry milk powder, paneer and other value added products including ice cream, yogurt, etc. So this is the trend, and the trend is more increasing towards the value added product or processed dairy product. So earlier this fluid milk consumption used to be 60%, then came to 50%, and now it is at 46%. Here we will see about the milk processing plants. The major milk processing plants at mother dairy, that is at the government controlled dairy plants. Amul is the major, then all other state level dairy plants or cooperative dairy plants, and at the private level there are famous dairy plants like Heritage, Hudson, Avin, Varka, Nandini and Bisakha, like that, so many private dairies. If we see the key milk producers in India, it is the Uttar Pradesh, number one, then Punjab, then Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh. So this is a picture about the major milk processing plants, both at the cooperative sector or government sector and also at the private sector. Here we will see about value addition for increasing farmers' income. Earlier we have already seen in this diagram the comparison in the total organized dairy market in India in 2016 and 2020. This value addition happens through multiple ways. Firstly, the fluid milk to value added products. So that gives a huge change in the return or output from the milk. Then premium dairy products share about 8 to 10% and expected to reach nearly 20% this year. From milk to skim milk powder, it is not so profitable, but other products like dairy based beverages, high fat products, coagulated products, fermented and dried products, ready to eat and ready to serve formulations, and nutrient fortified and formulations with nutrient fortification, all these are major avenue for value addition. And for the vegetarians, it is the milk and milk products is a major source of animal protein. As we know, the animal protein has very important role for balanced diet or proper health and for fulfilling the requirements of quality protein. So that's how the value added products plays important role. Then cereal based milk products. So there are several cereal based milk products like different kind of kheer, etc., which is made from the milk along with the cereals, and that gives a combination or addition of iron and fiber. And then finally about probiotics, prebiotics and functional foods. So nowadays there are huge awareness about the health foods, or we call functional food. So many of these functional foods are prepared from the dairy milk also. Here we will see the promise of Indian dairy industry. Today, India is the wester of the global dairy industry. As I said, the dairy industry growth is very steady and the largest producer of milk, and this global dairy industry, the India is playing a major role. The fastest growing market for milk and milk products, the demand for milk and milk products is continuously growing, and sourcing center for regional exports for MNCs. So many of the MNCs are taking the milk and milk products from India for export, and there it offers opportunities in large numbers across the country. So this dairy sector is having tremendous opportunities for entrepreneurship and export from milk and milk products. In general, contribution of milk to livestock sector is very high, and this is about 69%. So from the total livestock sector, the milk contributes up to 69%, which is about 8 lakh crore. So here we will talk about the regulatory changes. As we know, there is a new food quality control regulations by passing the new law Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, under which the Government of India has launched Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, which is developing the scientific standards, and it has got important value for quality control and food safety and its role in global food market and export, etc. So now it is like one nation, one food law, and it has got globally benchmarked food standards and practices, ensure consistency in enforcement, and manage food testing with standardized testing methods and protocols. The safe, wholesome and hygienic food will create Swasth Bharat. So now the target of India is to produce healthy citizens, that is Swasth Bharat, and this has to be cornerstone of the efforts of FSSAI. So FSSAI is playing a major role for formulating the scientific standard for food quality control and for better health. So this is a new change which plays important role in the dairy sector also, or foods of dairy origin. Here we will see about the milk products. Mainly we can have 7 categories. The first one is fat rich products, in which the ghee and butter. As I told, ghee is the major part of processed dairy products, and next is the butter. The second category is acid and heat coagulated products, mainly paneer and chana. Chana goes for making sweets like rasagolla and other sandesh, barfi. And then third category is microbial assisted coagulated products like cheese. Slowly the market for cheese is increasing in India. And the fourth category is heat desiccated or dried milk products, in which there is two important. One is skim milk powder, another is koa. So koa is majorly produced for as a base material for making different kind of Indian traditional sweets. And fifth category is frozen products, mainly ice cream, kulfi and other frozen desserts. The sixth category is fermented milk products. This category is having higher demand slowly in Indian market, especially yogurt and different kind of modified yogurt or fermented vessel functional yogurt. And the seventh is the new category, different kind of beverages like different milk drinks or different kind of smoothies, lassi, etc. This is a growing sector, and these are different seven category of processed dairy products. Here once again we will discuss about the importance of value addition in Indian dairy industry. Earlier I have already discussed about it. So we can see that 2014 and 15 and 2019 and 20 there is a comparison. In first case there is liquid milk around 65% and second case it is 16, but presently it is around 50%. So the use of milk for value added products is steadily increasing. So it is predicted by CRISIL report 2021 that this value added dairy products is going to be 25,000 crore and it is going to cross the liquid milk market. So the processed dairy products, value added dairy products is having more and more importance in the dairy sector. Here we will see further about the importance of value addition in dairy industry, and with the value addition only we can double the income or double the investment. So this is the very crucial time for doubling of farmers income, and presently how the value addition is taking place we will see in the dairy industry. The firstly value addition in milk procurement. So procurement system there is a change and through that we can do the value addition. Then value addition in processing, by making different dairy products we can increase the income. Then value addition in packaging, so there is different new modern packaging system through which we can have better advantages for storage and marketing. And value addition in distribution and marketing, so there is a lot of change in the distribution system, the refrigerated transport and in the marketing, and all this together it can make a doubling in the income or doubling in the return of investment. Here we can see that there is a steady change in the income and in the per capita consumption expenditure towards milk. So there is a more purchasing power or power to buy. We can see that per capita monthly consumption expenditure in milk and milk products has increased from 1970 to 2011-2012. So this shows that there is a steady demand and prospect from the dairy industry and dairy products. Here we will get an idea about the surplus production of milk. The total domestic milk production is about 400 million liter per day, of which about 160 million liter per day, that is 48%, is consumed as liquid milk, and the remaining milk is the surplus milk sold from production areas, that is about 240 million liter per day, that is 52%. Now from this surplus around 40 plus 30 70 million liter is from the organized sector, that is 29%, and this milk can be properly planned for processing into value added products, and the 170 million ton, that is 70%, is the unorganized sector. So this is the area where we need to put better planning for utilizing this surplus milk for value addition, and thereby we can increase the income. Here is the guiding factors for the dairy industry. The prospect depends on this. The consumers increasingly demand food that is tasty, healthy, convenient and safe, all while wanting it to remain affordable. So these are the 5 factors which plays major role in the consumers. The pursuit of real food is a constant negotiation among the 5 consumer value drivers. So these 5 factors if we can satisfy, then we can continuously have the demand for the dairy processed food products. So there is a huge prospect for the processed dairy products, and there is a huge understanding about the nutrition, health and sustainable living. So for the better health there is demand for dairy products. Only we need to maintain the taste, healthy, convenient and safe dairy products. Here we will see the upcoming trends, that is the fermented milk products is having the continuous growth in demand, and the consumers are preferring the texture, taste, shelf life, stable pH, clean label and probiotics. So these are the aspects where we need to focus for better value addition in dairy products. and the industry need to focus on taking out unnecessary ingredients and reducing the cost due to the sugar, fat, texturizers, stabilizers and milk powder. So these area we need to focus what is to be added and what is to be removed. So this is the trend for better consumer attraction, and the trend is towards more on fermented milk products. Here once again we are going to focus on fermented dairy products, which has got tremendous scope for profit. So we can maximize the profit with minimum expenditure in this sector, and there is a tremendous price appreciation through fermented dairy products. Here is a comparison. We can see the price per 100 ml and the appreciation rate. In case of milk, if it is 5 rupees, then the set card is 10, the yogurt is 20 rupees, yogurt for Srikant 25 rupees. This is all for 100 ml. Then probiotic yogurt 30 rupees, and frozen probiotic or lassi, that is 35 rupees per 75 to 100 ml. So if we see the price appreciation, it is 100%, 300%, 400%, 500% and 600%. So in case of different probiotic products, there is a huge appreciation of price and the huge possibility for profit. So here is how can we achieve all the demand and target, and how to achieve the better income or return or doubling the return or income from the dairy sector. The strategies are improving the self-help group, the promotion of self-help group. This is one of the major strategy. And then farmer producer cooperatives or farmer producer organizations, that's a major area to boost. Then no middlemen. The middleman takes away all the profit, that has to be avoided. Then procurement, production and marketing by members of the group. So we need to promote the procurement, production and marketing by the members group, and thereby the better profit is possible. Now another important strategy for the upgradation of dairy sector and better income and profit is the supply chain management. As we know it, the supply chain in case of dairy, from the production center it goes to the chilling center, and then it is transported to the dairy plant. From here it is processed either as liquid milk or different kind of dairy products, and from there it goes to the supermarket, and from supermarket it is going to the consumer. So this is the supply chain or value chain of milk and milk products. So this supply chain has to be supported, upgraded and promoted and boosted for the further progress of the dairy sector, dairy industry, for better profit and better income of the farm sector. So now finally we will talk about the marketing strategies. One is important, that is competition in the market. So we have to win through the competition. There has to be advertisement in the most effective place and target consumers. So promotion of marketing need to be worked out. Then nowadays there is e-commerce. So many of the products are delivered through online marketing. We need to focus on that area. Then pricing. So we need to have competitive pricing. We need to reduce the margin for larger market and better profit. And ability to differentiate and introduce new products. So to attract the consumers, we need to introduce new and more healthy or better product. Another area is the fortification. Nowadays dairy is a very good vehicle for fortification of different kind of healthy nutrients, especially the different kind of minerals or functional ingredients, and that's how we can capture the more market. So now we are at the end of this lecture. We have thoroughly discussed different aspects of Indian dairy industry, starting from the production, then about the cooperative and growth of milk industry. There is continuous increase in the value addition, in the market demand, in the area of change in consumption pattern. There is a increased pattern in the growth of value addition, and there are several strategies for further increasing the processing, value addition, consumption and marketing strategies and promotion of the market. So I hope this will be very useful for the advanced students, especially postgraduate students, to understand the importance of dairy sector and its growth and future. I wish to conclude with the quote from Varghese Kurian, the father of White Revolution, that is, India's place in the sun would come from the partnership between wisdom of its rural people and skill of its professional. So he used to say 8 hours for the dairy, 8 hours for the family, and 8 hours for sleep. So with this, I conclude. I already have one lecture on dairy development in India that was for undergraduate students. So that link will be available at the bottom.